I'm Avery Quinn, sophomore in the theater and film department at a big private university in Massachusetts. The kind of campus that looks like a national park, where the old rehearsal halls still smell like cedar and shellac, and almost everybody around me grew up with money to burn. I did not. I grew up in a cramped apartment outside Portland, listening to the communal dryer thump all night while my mom pulled graveyard shifts at the hospital to keep the lights on. I was good at shrinking, at not being noticed, at never disappointing anyone. When I got the full-ride scholarship here, I showed up with 2 suitcases, one for clothes, one for the constant whisper that I didn't belong. But that morning, the first day of advanced acting, the universe decided to laugh at my plan. Lecture Hall 4 is in the oldest building on campus. Stained glass windows throw red and violet streaks across the warped oak floor. I took my usual spot in the back row, trying to hide the frayed cuffs of my ancient coat, when the click of heels cut through the room like a metronome. Then she walked in. Esme Sterling. Even her name sounds like expensive silk. And she looked like a movie star who'd wandered off set. Honey blonde waves, cream trench coat, Winterlake eyes. The whole room inhaled and forgot how to exhale. I just ducked lower. She picked the seat 1 row in front of me. When she sat, she glanced back, and those eyes hit me like a soft, precise slap. I dropped my gaze to my notebook so fast my neck cracked. My heart was doing audition warm-ups in my chest. Don't look. She's from another planet. But her jasmine perfume drifted over anyway and short-circuited my brain. Class started with the exercise I hate most. Show who you are without words. I loathe it because I've spent my whole life trying to disappear. People went up one by one: confidence, hunger, fear, all the greatest hits. When Esme stood in the center, the air got thick. She closed her eyes, rolled her shoulders loose, then opened them. The loneliness in that look wasn't the pretty Instagram kind. It was raw aching, the kind that makes your ribs hurt. Forgot how to breathe. The professor clapped. The class clapped. I clapped too, but inside a tornado. Then it was my turn. I walked out, hands ice cold. I tried. God, I tried. But the harder I tried, the smaller I felt. I ended up just standing there. Someone snickered. Same old shame. I bowed my head to flee back to my seat when a voice floated behind me, soft as cashmere. You don't have to hide. I froze. Esme, you have honest eyes, she said. You're just scared someone might actually see them. I turned. She wasn't pitying me. She was looking at me like she already knew something I'd never dared look at in myself. I had no words. So I nodded like an idiot and practically sprinted to my chair, ears on fire. After class, I packed up lightning fast to avoid her. But the second I stepped into the hallway. Avery, right? I turned. Esme was leaning against the wall like a Calvin Klein ad with the side of exhaustion. I saw you sitting alone in the back, she said, casual but not fake nice. Want to rehearse the duet scene with me? Professor paired us for next week. I blinked. Why me? She shrugged. Because your eyes are beautiful when you stop trying to hide them. My heart dropped straight through the floor. Who says stuff like that? Who says that to the scholarship kid in the ratty coat who worked? She laughed, actually laughed. I meant acting partners. Though if your mind went there, I'm not complaining. I thought I might die on the spot. She tilted her head, playful but warm. So? You in? I should have said no. I should have protected us both. Instead, I heard myself whisper, yeah, okay. And that was the decision that changed everything I thought I knew about wanting. I barely slept that night. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw the way she looked at me. Like I was real, like I mattered. It had been years since anyone looked at me like that. We met in Studio 12, the little black box room seniors use for monologues. When I pushed the door open, Esme was already cross-legged on the floor, sunlight striping her cheekbones like she'd been lit by a cinematographer. You came, she smiled, setting her phone down. I half expected you to ghost. Why would I ghost? I mumbled. She shrugged. A lot of people do. Or they decide I'm intimidating. I almost laughed. Intimidating? She was the kind of beautiful that made people stare on the subway. But the way she said it, tired, honest, made something cracked open in me. I don't think you're intimidating, I said, and meant it. Good. Let's start. We'd been assigned a short Tennessee Williams two-hander. Two women hiding damage behind polite words. Esme read Eleanor, I read June. She stepped close enough that I could see the gold flecks in her gray-green eyes. Avery, she said, serious now. You can't play the girl who hides in the back row for this scene. You have to let June speak your truth. My truth. The thing you're scared to show. The fear. Or the wanting. Heat flooded my face. She'd seen right through me. I don't. You don't have to explain. She cut in gently. Just act it. She started Eleanor's line, voice cracking in all the right places. You know what the hardest part is, Esme? I whispered, forgetting the script for a second. She looked straight at me. Let June touch your fear. I swallowed hard and answered. Then why do you keep hiding it? Something flickered in her eyes, like I'd accidentally brushed a bruise she kept secret. She gave a sad little half-smile. Better. You're being honest now. We ran lines for 2 hours. Sometimes she stood so close I felt her breath on my neck. Sometimes she backed off and her voice floated like smoke. And with every line my old armor chipped away. When we finally collapsed on the floor to rest, she said, You're better than you think, Avery. I sat 3 safe feet away. I'm just trying to keep up with you. I don't want you to keep up, she said, turning her head to look at me. I want you to find you. Silence. Then, where's home for you? Portland, right? I hugged my knees. I hated talking about money, about my mom's double shifts, about how every dime I had was borrowed from the future. It's normal, I lied. She smiled like she knew. I get it. Some things we keep locked. She stretched out, staring at the ceiling. My family's the opposite of normal. Corporations, legacy, image. They want me to inherit the throne. I picked theater instead. She laughed, bitter. They still haven't forgiven me. So you're here to escape? She rolled her head to look at me, half teasing, half raw. What about you? Why are you here? I thought of every time I watched girls like her shine on stage and wished just once I could shine too. So someone finally sees me. I whispered. She went very still. I see you, she said. For words and my heart tried to punch its way out of my chest. We packed up as dusk fell. Before she left, she paused. Avery, do people give you shit? About liking girls? My stomach dropped. You mean homophobia? Yeah. This school's progressive on paper, but... Her smile was paper thin. Because I've gotten someone hurt before just by existing near them. Something twisted in my ribs. Esme, I'm not that fragile. Good. She held my eyes a long beat. Because whatever this is about to become, it isn't going to be easy. I didn't know what this was yet. But I knew nothing would ever feel safe again. Calling our rehearsals just practice after that would be a lie. Every time I walked into that studio it was like stepping into thicker air, warmer, heavier electric. A week blurred by. Our scene got terrifyingly good because half the lines stopped feeling like lines. They felt like confessions. One rainy afternoon the campus was empty, just gray light and the soft drum of water on the windows. We were running the final beat, where Eleanor finally admits she's done running. Esme stepped close, voice dropping into something fragile and low. June, I don't want to run anymore. My line. Then stay. But when the words left my mouth they weren't June's anymore. They were mine. Stay. With me. She was so close I could feel the heat of her skin. Her next line brushed my lips. If I stay. Can you handle it? She'd swapped you for the Vietnamese ka. Our private language now. 1 second. 2. The rain disappeared. The world narrowed to her eyes and my frantic pulse. I stepped back. Let's take 5. She went quiet, then soft. If I'm making you uncomfortable, I'm sorry. You're not, I said too fast. It's not that. Then what is it? I didn't have an answer I was brave enough to give. We sat on the floor. I chugged water like it could put out the fire in my chest. She pushed her hair back, looking suddenly exhausted and still unfairly gorgeous. Avery, she said quietly, have you ever been in love? I almost choked. Once. A long time ago. Did you ever tell her? No. She never knew. Esme studied me like she was solving a puzzle and the last piece just clicked. I get it, she said. I fell for a girl once and was 100% sure the world would punish us for it. My hands curled into fists. She told all our friends I was trouble, that me liking girls would ruin her reputation. She asked me never to come near her again. Esme. Don't be sorry, she said, meeting my eyes. I just don't want to hurt anyone else by standing too close. Especially not someone I. She stopped herself. Then, quieter than the rain. Avery. Would you be scared to stand next to someone like me? I answered before fear could stop me. No. Never. She smiled, beautiful and heartbreaking all at once. We finished rehearsal in the dark. Just a single lamp glowing gold on the floorboards. I was stuffing scripts in my bag when she said my name like a question. I turned. Do you ever think two people can be too similar to ever work? Who are we talking about? I don't know, she sighed. Sometimes you want to step closer to someone so bad, but the world yanks them backward. I took one step toward her. If you stepped closer, you think they'd step back? She was quiet so long I thought she wouldn't answer. Maybe, she whispered. If they weren't ready yet. Her eyes said the rest. I'm talking about you. My chest ached, not from fear, but from knowing if I moved forward I might hurt her, and if I moved back I'd hurt myself. She looked away first. Same time tomorrow? I nodded. She gave me a smile sharp as glass. Only if you still want to stand next to me. The door clicked shut behind her and I stood in the silent room listening to the chaos growing inside me. The next day she was waiting in the hallway, back against the wall, sunlight catching in her hair like a halo. She looked drained. You okay? I asked. Inside the studio something was off. She still nailed every line, but she was brittle like one wrong breath could shatter her. In the middle of Eleanor's fear of abandonment speech she just stopped. Hey, I said softly. You okay? She tried to smile. This scene hits a little close right now. Close how? She stared at the floor. I'm terrified people will leave the second I'm not perfect. I stepped closer. Esme. I'm not going anywhere. Her eyes snapped to mine wide like I'd said something forbidden. You're sweet, she said. I mean it. I want to be here. The silence that followed wasn't awkward. It was soft, full of things we weren't saying yet. Later, when we were packing up, she walked right up to me, slow, deliberate. Avery. I looked up. I need to ask you something. Only if you're ready. I nodded. Do you think someone like me is hard to be around? No. Why would you think that? Because when I like someone, she said, voice dropping, I wear it on my sleeve. And it's gotten me burned bad. She kept going, barely audible. They said I embarrassed them. That me liking girls would tank their social life. Told me to stay away. Rage and heartbreak collided in my stomach. Esme, you didn't do anything wrong. You don't get it, she laughed, wet-eyed. If I fall for the wrong person again, I don't think I'll survive it. Then, direct, almost defiant. Avery. If someone wanted to be more than friends with you, what would you do? Everything went still. I don't know, I breathed. But I don't think I'd run. Even if that someone was a girl? Even then. She searched my face. Then she took half a step closer, enough that the air changed temperature. Avery. I really want to believe you. I opened my mouth but the door flew open. A group of theater kids tumbled in, loud and oblivious. Esme stepped back instantly, panic flashing across. Esme's jaw tightened. We're done. She murmured to me. Talk later. But I saw it. She wasn't scared of me. She was scared of them. She left without looking back. But at the threshold her eyes flicked to mine for one desperate second. Stay. The world is pulling me away. And for the first time I understood. The road between us was going to be ugly, gossip, side eyes, family pressure, all of it. But I was done running. Midterms. Pair scenes in the black box in front of the whole class. Of course the universe paired me with Esme. When the professor called our names my stomach flipped. Esme just grinned like Christmas came early. Scared, she teased. Terrified, I admitted. That means you're ready. She brushed my elbow, barely a touch, and my skin lit up like a sparkler. We picked a scene about one woman desperate to leave town and the other desperate to make her stay. Guess who got the runner? The more we rehearsed, the worse it got because it felt too real. Me always ready to bolt. Her always trying to make me stay. Halfway through she stopped. Avery, are you acting or are you actually trying to disappear? I flinched. What? Your eyes. That's not the character. That's you. I looked away. You're reading too much into it. She stepped in until I backed into the wall. I'm not acting when I say this, she whispered. I see you. My pulse was everywhere. You always push people away. She kept going, soft but relentless. Not because you don't want them close. Because you're scared they'll see all of you and leave anyway. I bit my lip so hard it hurt. We should get back to the scene. No, her hand settled on my shoulder, gentle but firm. Be honest with me first. Honest. The word felt dangerous. Esme, don't, I begged. Don't what? Don't be kind to me. Don't make me feel. My voice cracked. Seen. Her thumb brushed my cheek, featherlight. Is that such a bad thing, Avery? Her voice dropped raw. You're not a person, not a burden. You're just not used to being loved right. That gentle knife slid straight into the softest part of me. I looked up. Her eyes were patient, aching, hopeful. I exhaled shakily. You don't get it. You have everything. I have. Don't, she cut in. Money doesn't buy you out of lonely. Trust me. The overhead lights dimmed for the next group. A single desk lamp painted gold across her hair. I tried to step past her. She caught my wrist, not grabbing, just asking. I don't know what you're most afraid of, she said, voice trembling just enough to notice. But I know I'm not it. I turned. What do you want me to do? Run the scene again. But this time act with me. Not away from me. Showtime. When our turn came, the room went dead quiet. Not polite quiet, spellbound quiet. We hit our marks. Me trying to leave, you don't need me. Esme looking right into my soul. Yes, I do. More than you know. The line between acting and real life incinerated. The final applause started slow, then thundered. Professor Hayes actually stood. That, he said, was one of the most honest things I've seen in years. Esme bowed gracefully. I just tried to remember how lungs worked. Afterward, the room emptied fast, but she stayed. I grabbed my bag to escape. Avery. I froze. You're running, she said softly. I'm not. Then look at me. I turned. She closed the distance slow enough for me to stop her. I didn't. I know you're scared, she said. But don't make me someone you have to hide from. My breath shook. Esme, this can't happen. Why? Because I'll drag you into my mess. I don't want you caught in gossip just because you... I swallowed. Just because you like me. She laughed once, soft and sad. Avery, you think you get to decide how I feel? I'm trying to protect you. No, she whispered. You don't have to be perfect to be loved, Avery. I looked away. I don't want to disappoint you. Then stop deciding my future for me. Her voice cracked open. Stop running from the thing you want to. I stared at her. She was right. God, she was right. The hallway noise faded to a distant hum. What if it all falls apart? I asked Tiny. Then we pick up the pieces together, she said. Isn't that how real relationships start? I looked up. Really looked. If I give you a chance, what would you do with it? Her smile trembled, hopeful, terrified, radiant. I'd hold it gently enough you're not scared. But tight enough you know I'm not letting go. A laugh bubbled out of me. Half sob, half relief. You make it really hard to say no. I'm not asking you to say no. We stood there in the buzzing fluorescent light while the rest of the world kept moving. She reached out, fingertips brushing the back of my hand. Asking, not taking. I didn't pull away. For the first time in years I didn't shrink. I didn't apologize for existing. I stayed. And Esme